Today we'll be looking at the properties of real numbers. We will be looking at the properties of equality. We have four properties of equality. The addition property of equality, the subtraction property of equality, the multiplication property of equality, and the division property of equality. So we have four operations and four properties of equality. And we'll also look at a property called the substitution property. All of these properties we use when we solve equations. The first property is the addition property of equality. If you add the same number to both sides of an equation, the sides remain equal. The equation continues to be true. So our first equation here is x minus 3 is equal to negative 5. In order to solve for x, we're going to add 3 to both sides. X is equal to negative 2. So we just used the addition property of equality. We added the same value to both sides of an equation. The next property is the subtraction property of equality. If you subtract the same number to both sides of an equation, the sides remain equal. The equation continues to be true. So in this example, we have x plus 6 is equal to 4. In order to solve for x, we're going to subtract 6 on both sides. X is equal to negative 2. We use the subtraction property of equality, or we subtracted the same value on both sides of the equation. Our next example is the multiplication property of equality. If you multiply the same number to both sides of an equation, the sides remain equal. The equation continues to be true. So here we have x divided by 2 is equal to 10. So x is being divided by 2. To solve this, we're going to multiply each side by 2. So 2x divided by 2 is x, and 10 times 2 is 20. So x is equal to 20. So we use the multiplication property of equality, or we multiplied the same value on both sides of the equation. The division property of equality. If you divide the same number to both sides of an equation, the sides remain equal. The equation continues to be true. In this example, we have negative 4x is equal to 28. In order to isolate x or solve for x, we need to divide each side by negative 4. So x is equal to negative 7. So we solve this equation by using the division property of equality. We divided the same value on both sides of the equation. And our last property that we use is the substitution property. And think about it as combining like terms, or to combine like terms. So if x is equal to y, then x can be substituted in for y in any equation, and y can be substituted for x in any equation. So here's an example. We have 2x plus 1 plus 3 equals 10. So in order to solve this, we're going to combine like terms first. In other words, we're going to take 1 plus 3 and write 4. We're going to substitute 4 in for 1 plus 3. So 2x plus 4 is equal to 10. Even though we added these two terms, we call this the substitution property because we didn't add something to both sides of the equation. We just added the numbers on one side, or we combined like terms. So this is not the addition property of equality, it's substitution. So let's go ahead and continue to solve this. We're isolating x. 2x plus 4 equals 10, so we're going to subtract 4 on both sides. So we're subtracting 4 on both sides. That's the subtraction property of equality. That leaves us 2x is equal to 6. Let's continue solving. We're going to divide each side by 2, or use the division property of equality. and x is equal to 3.